Hey, what's up, Jose?
Hey, what's up, Brian?
So this is a little Acre. I'm gonna start a new save. I'm literally gonna make this as short as possible.
Oh, what's this?
It's a cutscene. Oh no.
Why is he sad?
That's a good question. Having just beat this game, I don't really know.
Really?
I mean, like, I don't know why he's sad in that moment. I don't really know what leads up to this. Like, it's all kind of vague. Like, even having beat the game, like, it's all kind of vague what happens to him.
I'm kind of confused why she had to leave him.
Yeah, no shit. Excuse me, no stuff. No stuff.
I awoke to the sounds of Lily's gentle snores as they drifted across the bedroom loft. She was still fast asleep, and I needed to keep it that way, or suffer the consequences. Creaky floorboards meant that the simple act of getting dressed will require a little ingenuity.
Have you ever heard of a point and click adventure game?
No, I haven't.
So, point and click adventure games were fairly popular back in, like, I don't know, I would say like the 80s and 90s of like PC video gaming. Um, Essentially what they are, and what I'll show you, is you typically will have an environmental space of which you can interact with different items. And you'll be getting an inventory of said items to use with other items, if that makes any sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, right now I need to get dressed. And so I need to get my shirt.
Morning, Dougal.
Is that his underwear?
What?
By the child.
No, it's actually his sweater, believe it or
Oh.
not. And so like, for example, my trousers are too far away, but I need to put my trousers on before I can put on my boots, because obviously you can't just be wearing boots without pants. So, what I gotta do is I gotta take this stick from this dog just as he opened his mouth, and then use the stick on the trousers to get the trousers. And if you were to hit, you know, if you were to try and interact with these items, not already knowing that, he'll literally say, oh, I can't reach those, or like, I have to get that stick from him at just the right time, and stuff like that. And so, like, you use the sandwich that were for some reason in the trousers, and now his breath stinks like poopy. And then, oh, his breath stinks. And you go, well, I need you to go get my sweater for me.
About the sweater while Lily was still pulling it.
So,
Lily was a strong
because they're
limbs,
both
and my sweater
scared
was
to
pinned
wake her
beneath her.
for some reason, as if
I needed to
she
find a way to roll her over
wears the pants in the
without weighing her.
family, despite being the child. So let's see. From there, do I get? I think I can put on the boots, given I have my trousers. And then from there, I should be able to. Let me see here. I thought I just throw the sandwich. I guess poke him with the stick so that way he rolls over. She doesn't like the smell. And then that way I'm like, okay, I have to get that. So I have to actually throw the sandwich on it. And then the dog will grab the sweater because he wants the sandwich. Bring the sweater back over. And he doesn't want to give up the sweater, which means I have to put the stick into his mouth as his mouth opens up. To get the sweater back. And so now I'm good.
That was my cue to sneak out of there.
And so now just walk on out.
I decided I'd cycle to the nearby town.
And this would pretty much just start, you know, the whole next series of puzzle-like events. So other than like that being the major gameplay gist, kind of like what you saw there, it's really the majority of how most point-and-click adventure games will work. This one is not much different in regards to that. You'll move around the environment, pick up items that interact with other items in order to solve essentially environmental puzzles. You could actually say, like, you know, where we did Call of the Sea, and that was what I called a walking simulator. This is kind of, I would say, very similar, except you're not playing from a first-person perspective. You're playing from an outside perspective looking at the environment as a 2D space.
I guess it is, since you did say it's like a point and click adventure. Is it set in stone, the path that it always takes, or?
Most point and click adventure games are going to have the puzzles be exactly the same every single time, and so your path is pretty much set for you, yes.
Didn't really stop to think where my
So
dad
if you
kept
weren't to
when I still
interact with
wasn't
like
wanted it.
one specific item though,
Pretty sure
would
I
it matter
put
at
to
all?
good use, though.
You no, I mean, like, things that aren't relevant
I had
to
admit,
you
those
progressing
dad's
wouldn't really
inventions
matter,
really were inspiring.
but like this thing here doesn't matter. This is just purely for you to interact with. It doesn't play a part in any sort of puzzle or anything like that. It's just purely for you to interact with, and that you can open and close it and open and close it, or whatever the case may be. But all of the series of events of what you would
Dad
hear
loved
with
his
this
jacket,
sweater,
alright. Sometimes
or
work
his
was never
jacket,
One goes up.
yeah, it's not super relevant that you interact with
Lily
these
left her
things,
full
at least at this exact moment. It's like, for example, when you come back later, you can interact with the bear, and when you come back with other items, you can interact with this in a way. It's like,
Dad
right
let us
now,
take
I
Jeremy
can't do
to Harris
anything
workshop,
to make
as with
any
his
of this
other
work.
inventions, he just refused to
So
explain
you
how
would
it
go
worked.
do some other stuff,
Lily
get an
thought there was
item,
something
come
missing,
back,
so
and
I
then
figured
interact
I'd
with
find
that
out
item
why.
here to get this going. But I mean, other than like the general gameplay loop, the story, if you couldn't really get the gist of it from the beginning cutscene,
I picked up the jokes.
is
I didn't
his
even bother to
dad,
make
being
Harris
that dude you
breakfast.
saw, and that lady are friends that happen to be scientists, and his dad would live in that room we were just in and is a scientist or an inventor of some sort. So, as an example, that's you, your dad, and your wife that I guess is also dead.
Dead?
Or, excuse me, is dead.
Why?
Don't ask me, I don't know why.
Uh,
And that her gravestone is right here.
It was Dad's idea to put the memorial stone by the wall.
And so,
Place to have
anywho,
a picture.
the game's not very long, so I really am not going to show any more of it beyond this. I would say, personally, it's not super overwhelming in any sort of ways. It's a pretty standard point-and-click adventure, and it's not super long. Obviously, they've hand-drawn everything that's in the game and hand-animated everything, so they can give them some credit for that. And based on the credits, after having just beat it, the credits are, you know, pretty short, in that there's not a lot of people, I think, worked on this. And so given that, I would still say, you know, if you're looking to kill a couple hours, go ahead and give it a shot. Play, you know, maybe literally 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'd say, actually, if you, given it's free on Game Pass, if you want to get a bunch of gamer score or whatever, and get a bunch of achievements, I got quite a bit of achievements out of this for playing a relatively short game, and they're not super hard to get or very intense to get, because a lot of them are just story based. There are some that could be related to doing a specific task in a certain way, or like completing the game without using any hints, given the game does have just a straight up hint system, and where you can hit hint and then it'll tell you what you need to do, and you can go even further and it'll just tell you straight up, just go do this. Which admittedly I used once or twice, but it was later when I was playing it last night. I was a little bit tired, but and you can still, you know, set your own saves and load the game from different points, even though I don't feel that's super necessary, because there's no real fail states in the game. But anywho, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. Any questions or anything like that, Jose? If I covered anything I didn't need to cover?
I think you covered everything without, really getting too much into the plot.
Yeah.
My other questions were more so related to what happens at the end.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into
do
that.
questions get answered?
Vaguely. There's still still a lot of vague kind of. There's things get answered, but I would say not in like a super fulfilling way.
Do you think there'd be a sequel or a continuation?
No.
No.
I mean, there could be, but I don't know. We'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anywho, thanks, Jose.
Yeah, no problem.